I'd like to take us to Kano, and I saw him before we started online. Can we please have General Akilu back online? Brigadier General Akilu retired. Can we have him back online? And yes, thank you, that's him. Quickly like to just reflect on who Brigadier General Akilu is. Was commissioned in 1967 after he attended the Nigerian Defense Academy. He later attended Junior Staff College, War Minister in 1973, Command and Staff College, Pakistan in 1979, King's College London in 1983, and the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies in 1989. General Akilu has, as we know, he's an officer and a gentleman, and he later became commander of the 146 Infantry Battalion that suppressed the Metasini religious riots. General Akilu later joined the Directorate of Military Intelligence as a Lieutenant Colonel. He replaced General Aliyu Gusau as Director of Military Intelligence and was a member of Armed Forces Ruling Council from 1989 to 1993. He worked alongside General Aliyu Gusau in reorganizing the security and the intelligence apparatus. He was one of the team that supported the breaking down of the then National Security Organization, NSO, into 3 organizations: the State Security Service, SSS, now Department of State Services, National Intelligence Agency, NIA, and the Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA, where he served twice, from August 1985 to July 1986 and January 1990 to September 1990. Rich profile there. Okay, I will come to you, General, and I would just like you share with us something that has not been said or we've not heard about him, and I think you would know as an intelligence officer. So share with us that which can actually bridge the gap of divide that we talk to, well, the country is facing, as it were. Speak to us about that quality that has endeared IBB to you. You have the floor, sir. Maybe we need to sort that out. Yes, and when we do, we'll get back to him. So I'll throw the question back to both of you sitting with me. What's it about IBB that we do not know that you can share with us? After all, he's 80.
Well, I think like the chairman said, you see, IBB is one of the most investigated, ridiculed, praised individual former head of state. He has paid his due, and like I said earlier on, he's very accommodating, very generous man to fault. And even at his retirement, IBB is always thinking about Nigeria and his future and how the country is doing. So, like the chairman said, I still repeat, he has got the love of this country in his heart, and he's always concerned of how things are going. The chairman also alluded to the fact that I think IBB is one of the most misunderstood individuals in the country. But by and large, you could see by his action what he has established in the country. We are still enjoying the benefits of some of the infrastructures he has brought in. Like the chairman said, he moved the capital to Abuja, and you can see how Abuja is one of the greatest, fastest growing capitals in the world.
Well, I'd like to come back to you because Chief MARYAM, you were very emphatic about him marrying, you know, your daughter. Yes. So, how would you describe his family life?
Frankly speaking, he had a very good family. And he loved our sister so much. And we respect our sister. And in fact, our sister has died. He turned us so much. He turned IBB. I'm not sure IBB has recovered from the death of the wife. Because they are very close. I know that we are very close. We are very powerful. Our sister was very good to us. And I think I will recommend to the President General of our legislature, it's going to be given to so much honor because of the services he rendered to Igbos and to Nigeria. The chairman of this occasion has already mentioned the better life for women, which is a very important job because he started this idea of concern for the plight of women. Today, that battle has reached a crescendo. People are fighting, so it's a very important battle. So we are very, very happy about. I'm very proud of that, and I thank God that IBB is alive today. That is my greatest joy. In most cases, when people die, people start talking about them. The Julius Caesar Marcus says that the evil good the men do is buried with them. The evil is what everybody propagates. So I'm not worried about all the stories they talk about IBB, to be honest. There is no leader in the world that hasn't got this type of story. But the point is that IBB has not been found in responding. You see, a leader must have a machinery for swift response. This question of two issues that worried us was this Delegua thing. Delegua is fake news. Today, we have heard about fake news. Nothing is fake news, but I think it was not properly responded to. So it became, this man propagandist, German propagandist said that one line told several times it was true. That Delegua thing is a fake news, obviously. Now, the other one is the cancellation of result. There is no way one person alone cancel it. That thing to comprise so many. Nobody in that place protested to Nigeria at that time. They were members of the military council. None of them protested or resigned his position because of that. None of them. So the truth is that normally when there is any problem, but you see, I think what we are doing today is alive. Let this be a forerunner to what will bring, because what he has done, if you can take stock of it, count it one by one. I mean, nobody. I'm challenging the press today to go and count it one by one. I have done it myself. The chairman has mentioned a lot of them. The headquarters. I know the problem of moving Abuja, from Lagos to this place. It's not easy. History has it on record that he is the person who had the courage to come here. There are so many things he has done. So I think really that after this, the narrative may improve. And
I would just like to say that I actually wanted you to give a further insight into this tribalized IBB. Yes. Is there a strength for growth that Nigerians need to, especially Nigerian leaders? Is this something that we all should embrace? Because in whatever strata of human development you find yourself, there's always a leader. Going forward and building a better Nigeria, what are these strengths in IBB that we all should clamor for or endear ourselves to?
Now, you see, when you assume a leadership of a people, a multi-ethnic people, it's a very delicate situation. And you must realize that you have to carry everybody along with you. If you run election, for example, and you win, the moment you win, you are sworn in. You are now the leader of both those who supported you and those who didn't support you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
I would like to hear from the general on this detribalization and moving forward as a people.
Well, like the other speaker said, once you are a leader, regardless, everybody is yours. Because you are at that particular time, you are the leader, and people who are supposed to look after the welfare of the citizens of the country. I think maybe Hakilu is...
I think we can have Brigadier General Hakilu now.
Yes, thank you, Moji. I really wished I am within the event center. Yes, thank you. However, I'm in Kano, and the fluctuation of the internet is what is giving us cause of worry. However, by telling the audience how I came about meeting then Major Ibrahim Babangida. In 1968, my battalion was at Ihube. Ihube is not very far from Enugu. At that time, the sector commander was General Danjuma. They were based in Enugu. And General Babangida was asked to take over from Garba Dada as the brigade commander, brigade major. It was a sector, but still we had a brigade major. He took over from Colonel Dada as the brigade major, acting brigade major. I think it was in June, July 1968. I had a commander, a battalion commander called Colonel A.A. Gora. He was then a major also. Major Gora and myself visited the sector headquarters, and there we met Major Ibrahim Babangida as the brigade major. There was an incident that attracted me to such a gentleman and a kind-hearted officer. Those who knew A.A. Gora, Major A.A. Gora, my battalion commander then, they knew was a bully. Major Gora asked for a bottle of beer, and the barman was not quick in bringing his order. Unfortunately for Major Gora, he descended on the boy, abusing the boy, trying to punch him. There and then, for the first time, I saw Major Babangida very furious. He stood up and said, "If you touch this young boy, I will punch you also." So you can see an officer who cares for the welfare of his junior, whether officers or men working under him. That was how the mess became so rowdy. People intervened. I was the only officer in between. I had to intervene. So we pulled out Major Gora, and Major Babangida was persuaded to let the issue die, and we pulled Gora out and drove back to Ihube. So you can see the type of officer. And we learned right from his secondary school days that was his one of his qualities in standing by the junior officers. And that is how his own courage, his own kindness and generosity, and also intelligence, galvanized all the young officers behind him, especially when the time came when the change of government was being considered. There was no hesitation of many junior officers to support General Babangida. So this is the little. And on the family side, I was also wounded on the war front in 1969. I was flown to 44 Military Hospital in Kaduna, and I think General Babangida was then flown to Lagos. That was the Creek Hospital. And when we recovered, we met in Kaduna. And that was when he decided to get married to MARYAM Babangida. And the marriage was in September 1969. And we all happened to be in Kaduna. I was invited for the marriage. Unfortunately for me, the two families of Muhammadu King and that of Major Babangida were at the dinner party of the wedding. There I sighted a young girl, a beautiful young girl, unknown to me. She was part of the family of Muhammadu King. The father of this girl was a junior brother to the mother of MARYAM Babangida. So the connection of, beside the military connection, and then we came to have this family connection, very close family connection with General Babangida. People are wondering, are saying, look, you always have blind loyalty to this man. I explained to them it's not because of his name, Ibrahim Babangida, it's because of the qualities he has. He is a gifted person. Gifted in the sense he is courageous, kindness to a fault. General Babangida, I remember he had only one car, and a friend of his asked him for a car, and he gave him out that car. So you can imagine how generous someone could be. You having only a single car, a friend of yours in need, and you gave him such a car. His loyalty to his friends is legendary. General Babangida is loyal to his friends. No matter what, he will never betray you. He will never go after you. We had a common friend called Ibrahim. He was a senator, Senator Ibrahim. He was once a minister also. Ibrahim was always attacking IBB. They came from the same place. They grew up in Mina. I'm happy General Abdul Salam is there. And when I was asked to come and talk about the family, I was saying, why are people like General Abdul Salam Abubakar, General Mogoro, General Garba Duba? And now when I saw him attending the panel, I was so happy because he knows IBB better than any one of us. So, talking about his friends, Ibrahim was always going after IBB. So I was the military director of military intelligence. I went to IBB and said, look, I will fix this your friend up. He said, what? Who? Say Ibrahim. He said, no, don't touch him. He is my childhood friend. I said, and so what? This is what he is doing. He did this, he did that. He said, no, don't bother. So I went and confided in then General Abacha, who was the chief of army staff. I said, this is what happened between me and him. He said, well, you are joking. You don't know you are president. President Babangida is one who will never forsake his own friends. So if you are his friend, he will never betray you. So So people who are bringing the case of VASA and IBB, they should go deep and find out exactly. We were there when it happened. And we had inquiries, we had a panel, we had a tribunal which looked into the case. And if General Vasa was innocent, nobody would have convicted him. Unfortunately, General Vasa was the leader, the most senior officer behind the attempted coup of 1986. So people should not jump into conclusion without knowing the facts. And on the, if you are looking for a patient officer, patient leader, go to IBB. IBB is a very patient individual. He will never jump into a conclusion without really finding the details, analyzing them, and having the best solution. And I had the moderator or the general saying IBB had the best of brains during his administration. Yes, if you look at the glassy of brains, IBB are invited, both on the side of the military and the civilians. I think up to today we haven't seen an administration that can match that. And the people are forgetting about Dr. Chu Okongu, who was our Minister of Finance and later on Minister of Petroleum, one of the best brains brought from America to join the administration of IBB. Professor Jibril Aminu, Chief Clement Apongu, Bola Ajibola, and so many others. Mr. Emmanuel was talking about the where I will remember, I can remember, I think Mrs. Aribi Salah was the chief executive of that
raw material.
Mineral.
Raw material.
I will remember the name, but she was the chief executive of the department created by IBB, and I would like to emphasize the courageous attempt by IBB to create so many departments, so many outfits that make sure Nigerians were guided despite the little money he was earning at the time of his administration. The creation of the three organs of the intelligence, the SSS, the DIA, and the NIA, we started from the scratch. And today, go and see the infrastructure they are occupying is the effort of IBB. The military cantonments in Abuja, I thought subsequent administration would have emulated the IBB by building more barracks so that the military will have enough and comfortable accommodation. Unfortunately, since the first set of barracks we built, there was no additional barracks for the military. So this is, so you can even again go to the Federal Secretariat and see, even maintenance today is a difficult thing for the administration to maintain the infrastructure built by IBB. I am happy we had a leader who was visionary and who was courageous to take action, to take decisions at the right place and at the right time. I'm happy today Abuja is a reality. He took the decision when many of us were saying, look, maybe it was not time, it was not the right time, but single-handedly, he said, if you are not coming, I'm going. And I want to tell the audience, IBB had a plan to build a permanent headquarters for the Ministry of Defense. It's one of the infrastructure he wanted to be built in Abuja. In 1987-88, he mandated General Damkat Bali, then Minister of Defense, to go and look for a site in Abuja. Just give me a site. Forget about everything. General Damkat Bali asked IBB, he wanted the plans, and he was given a sort of replica of American Pentagon. He asked IBB that he was going to engage a consultant. Funny enough, the contractor who was asked to be ready for the job was Julius Berger. Yet IBB said, okay, go and get the consultant. For 4 years, Damkat Bali couldn't come back to say, okay, we are ready and the site is here in Abuja. Again, unfortunately, when General
1 minute,
Bacha took over as Minister of Defense, we repeated the same appeal. I was one of those who went to Abuja and surveyed for a place, a suitable site for the Ministry of Defense. We got
1 minute more, 1 minute more, sir.
That was a beautiful site, a beautiful, very large area for the Ministry of Defense. Unfortunately, General Abacha did not take action. He didn't deem it fit to say, okay, here we are, let us start. You people, some of you have visited the headquarters of NIA, Nigerian National Intelligence Agency, where I supervise the development of the infrastructure, you will see what we mean by giving Julius Berger jobs to do during our administration. It's one of the best and well-sited infrastructure in Abuja. If you haven't been there, I want you to please take a visit and see the wonders of Abuja. It's one of...
Well, I tell you that I'm sure if we allow Brigadier Haliru to continue, he would spend the rest of the day here. We're trying to, to reveal the man, things you didn't know about him, things that we need to know about him and learn from it and move on as a people. As we close this first panel, I would just want the final words from each of you. I'll start with Chief Nwayao. Let's hear from you. What exactly, the man at 80, what would you be saying to him as your passing shot?
Well, I would like to say that it's an experience which I think I should mention to show you that this is a friend who is very, very reliable and dependable. In 1995, I lost my dear father, Chief Bernard Ibrahim, a Bediko of Ata. It was a man in my village. Now, we were in the mortuary on the day we were to bury him. I was in the mortuary. The news went round that IBB was inside the mortuary. It was raining very heavily. I couldn't believe it. Not in Abuja. I said, what? He said IBB was, somebody came and whispered to me IBB was there and had an umbrella and it was raining heavily. I came out and I saw him. He was there joining me to bury my father. He followed, he's not a Christian, he's a Muslim. We went from there to the Cathedral of Configuration of Lord, Wari. He followed me to the church. After the church service, he followed me to my country home. He spent the whole day with me. I think he came with a private jet, so He had to go. He had to go to the airport and return to Abuja that day. I was moved by that. I have never seen such behavior before. So if you want me to give a final word, I can say that, see, we have chronicled a lot. I mean, we have seen him in every ramification. That what in leadership is an excellent leader. In human relations, he's a humanist. He's a philanthropist. A man who has a car, and then somebody he gave it to him, and that is true. So we have seen that this is somebody balanced. So he has been misrepresented. And mark you, IBB is not the only leader in the world who is being misrepresented. All leaders are misrepresented. But it's for the leader to tell his own story. If you don't tell your story and others tell it, they won't tell it in your favor. I think today, IBB is now starting the process of telling his story. I feel happy to see Absalom here. It was IBB who introduced me to Absalom. Then Absalom was the commander GOC at Enugu. So we met that time. He was a commander GOC. Then he was not the head of state. And he used to visit me even at the Warri. So we established very good friendships. I knew Absalom through IBB. So I think my statement to our friend IBB is not that today, as he now peeps into his future, as he now celebrates his 80th birthday, he must now state very clearly, he has seen that like that general, that great general who came and who served and conquered, he should shout with joy that I came, I saw, and I conquered. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll go back to Mina. And as it is, because what we've done is brought Mina here to this hall. And for a man who had seen him through his 80 years minus one. So let's hear from you, sir, as we, pull the curtain on this first
Well, all that I can say is I wish IBB many happier returns of the same day. He should continue with what he has been, being a caretaker, a friend to all, and sundry. To illustrate the feeling of this general, Mr. Chibanyao mentioned about MARYAM. I remember when MARYAM passed away and she was being brought back to Mina, I could see the whole Niger State turned up to the airport to receive. And that, touched Ibrahim, that he bursted into tears. Not that because his wife passed away, because of the love being shown to him and his family. And he earned it because you reap what you sow. So again, I want to congratulate the IBB family, the organization, who deemed it fit to set up this a conversation. I wish him well. I wish the family well. And I hope we keep meeting together with him as we do to share the old stories that we all cherish. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes. IBB, the legendary. Blind loyalty, that's what people give to him because of the qualities that he has exhibited over the years. Courage as a leader, kindness to a fault, forgiveness. This indeed has been a revealing moment for the man that we all love. And before I leave you, I'll just share with you a very good memory of him. We recall that I did a documentary and on his late wife, as a gender activist that I am, and for the voice that Auntie MARYAM, as we called her then, gave to Nigerian women. and my phone rang endlessly. I wasn't familiar with the number. So I rang back. Who is this caller that won't allow my phone to rest? And in his usual chuckle, he said, Muji, this is IBB. And I said, sir, good evening. I didn't know it was you. I don't have your number. Yes, you don't have this number. But thank you for that good documentary and the reflection of your sister and your auntie. And I think that's what IBB does. He brings it home. It's not just about office, but the fact that he reflects to you as a member of the family. And so when I got the invitation from Aisha that the man IBB wanted me to do this, I felt very honored. I want to wish you, sir, very many happy returns, happiest of the days. You are so blessed. Beyond being a leader of this country, you have also been a good father, because that's what Aisha and her siblings reflect. And so on this note, I want to thank you all for your time, for your patience. Those watching online, thank you very much. Happy birthday to an exceptional leader, IBB at 80. Thanks. This session will leave this panel and we'll have the second panel on. So many more interesting things will come on. So stay tuned online. And for those of us here, thank you for staying. Thank you very much.